Hello and welcome to Vulnerable Moments with Miss E. Today is Thursday, June 25th, 2020, and today's topic is desperation. With business, with entrepreneurship, with success, with ascension, with leveling up, with being promoted, there comes a time where you need to search deep down in yourself and understand whether or not you need to make a choice between being successful or failing. There are many opportunities that come our way. There are many goals. There are many things that we wish to accomplish. And I was listening to a sermon the other day by Sarah Jakes Roberts, and she talked about desperation. And she said, a lot of us aren't receiving our blessings because we aren't desperate enough. Like there's a certain level of desperation that God needs to see and feel from you before he blesses you. No, you don't have to look like you drooling at the mouth. No, you don't have to look like you're begging, but you have to actually put forth the work, the energy, the sacrifice, and all that is necessary for you to reach your highest level of potential. So let's think about it. Let's take a few steps back. As we go into business for ourselves, as we go into buying our homes, some of us weren't savers before, but once we realized what the requirements were, we realized that we had to put a certain dollar amount to the side. We had to save up enough cash to be able to put down that down payment. And we also needed to have enough cash available to actually get us through, to be able to have a nest egg in the event that something came up or happened. So with that being said, you became committed enough to actually fulfill that potential and that goal, that dream of yours, which was to own a new home. For the investors that are listening to this video, you had the same obligation to actually A, maybe start out as a wholesaler, B, to be able to save up enough cash, to build up enough credit, to be able to actually move forward with your first deal. And then that built up enough credibility, enough skin in the game that you could bring to the table, and your qualifications look better on paper. But you, in your mind, became desperate enough without showing the masses to be able to achieve your goal. Don't always look at desperation as somebody being needy. It's about wanting something so bad enough for you to be able to want it just enough or just as much as you wanted to be able to breathe. It's because you wanted it enough that you wanted to actually pivot and be able to adjust so that you actually can level up. There's too many of us that's sitting around waiting for a handout. I've made a post a few times and I said, stop training your kids to believe that everybody has to hand things to them. It's a mindset thing. If you're raising your kids to have to look forward to a handout or help, you might want to actually rethink that approach. I'm not telling you how to raise your kids, but the reality is you're raising them to get hurt. I remember growing up, I could not stand to hear the word no, but that was something that I needed to hear before I went into college, before I actually went into the workforce, and before I actually decided that I wanted to become an entrepreneur, because no was going to actually come up and I had to be able to handle it. I remember emotionally, I couldn't deal with the word no. I didn't want to associate myself with anybody who would tell me no. I ended up spoiling myself to a point where I don't have to worry about somebody else's no, because I'm going to make sure that I actually do everything I need to be able to not only provide for me, but to be able to feed and provide for my future. So I tell you, for those of you that are caught up in tears because you're actually feeling like nobody's there for you, nobody's supporting you, nobody's going to participate with me, stop feeling sorry for yourself and put yourself in position. No, not every door is going to automatically swing open. No, every deal is not going to actually be thrown at you. No, not every phone call that you make is actually going to end in a meeting. But you have to be consistent enough. You have to want something bad enough to be able to do it consistently. Every day, over and over, putting in that same level of energy or even more. So I didn't come on here to actually badger anyone, but I need you to start to begin to change your mindset. Every day, for those of you that are coming on, or for those of you that are actually looking at Instagram and seeing people live their best life because they're showing you the glamorous side of putting in that work, you need to actually understand that behind every single image, every single boat, every single luxury car, every single exclusive, luxurious vacation, there was some work put in. There was some hours that people stayed up. Behind every beautiful ring, behind every engagement, behind every successful marriage, there was work being put in. There was no handout. People had to earn their stripes. So before you become jealous, before you become envious, before you get frustrated, before you start telling yourself that it'll never be me, you need to ask yourself, how much work, how much dedication, how much am I being consistent enough to earn that level of respect, that level of honor, that level of justification for everything you believe that you deserve? You got to earn that respect. You have to earn that image. So thank you for listening to yet another episode of Vulnerable Moments with Miss E. You have an amazing day on purpose. God bless.